Hi, David Odell here with Odell Complete Concrete. This is part 4 of a 4-part or a 5-part series. And the 5th part is going to be the sod installation in the backyard. And this part 4 is the driveway, and it's going to be pavers. So far throughout this video, we have a retaining wall, stacked stone retaining wall in the backyard. We have pavers in the backyard. And we have some underground, we have some drainage. We have some demo. On this particular video, we've already did the demo, so now it's just about putting the base in here. And this particular base is crushed recycled concrete. So we got about 4 to 5 inches of that base material in here, and then we've compacted it down, got it nice and wet. There's some leftover base there. A little too much, so that's going to go back to the recycling center. So the trick to compaction is the right moisture. The right moisture level in the material is going to be your key to getting your optimal compaction. But over wet is probably better than not wet enough, because it will dry out inevitably and be rock hard. Now if it's dry and you compact, it's going to stay dry. It's not going to really compress. Because what the water is doing, it's acting as a lubricant to seed all those nooks and crannies and slide all those particles and intricately fit them really tight together. That's all it is. It's just a lubricant. What he's doing with that steel 3/4 inch pipe is establishing elevation. The string line is top of pavers. That pipe happens to be at the bottom of pavers minus an inch of sand. Because after this compaction of the road base, then we're going to do another lift of sand. And the more uniform this base is, this is really the most crucial step in doing pavers, is getting your base consistent, because all you want is 1 inch of sand. Now if that sand varies in depth, you're going to get settlement issues. So this is really, you really want to fine tune the base. That's the key ingredient here. So let's just say you got your base perfect, you know, because that's what we're trying to go for here, is perfection on your base elevation. Then what you do, you could throw away all your levels, all your straight edges, just throw an inch of sand down and just start setting them, and it should work out fine.
We're gonna move to the front now, get the driveway graded out. I'm just gonna explain to you guys really quick how we set up levels and how we got square off this house in the front. Pretty much what we did was we got square by going paver height or paver length 8 inches off the foundation from here to here. That's 8 inches. 8 inches from here to here. Pulled a string line with a stake way down there. Did the same thing right there. And then, oh my god, one. There it goes. Now I have to set that back up. Dang it. Dang it. Anyways, I was going to show you guys how perfectly square we had everything set up with this, because we did double check our square right here, but I cannot show you guys now. So let me set this up and show you guys. Okay, the string line is set back up, so I just want to show you real quick how perfectly square we are. Oh, you got that? Okay. Hold that side for me. Okay, so here's our square. Well, hold on one. Can you be careful? I just want to show all the YouTube fans how we get everything perfect. Or perfect enough, close enough. Look at that. Nice and square. And that will ensure we're perfectly straight with the house. That's pretty much our straight line to go off of once we start building out the pavers.
Alright, so this is the next pass on the compactor. Make sure it's nice and tight. Basically, the base is essential, like I was saying before. That's the only thing that's going to support these pavers. And it's really, there's no structural aspect to it. It's just really hard ground. Now that the base is right on the money, you can see the steel 3/4 inch pipes laying on top of that base. That gives you approximately the 1 inch lift of sand that you want. You want that evenly as possible and still maintain your elevations. So you establish that already by putting your base in at the right level. So this should be a really simple process at this point. So the string line you really won't need at this point. It's there just because they don't want to move it so that they can start their first course, because right after sand's in, you can start dropping your pavers down. The nice thing about pavers, it's really a good DIY project, especially something this size, because you can set, 5, 10, 15 pavers at a time, walk away, come back, set a few more in between doing whatever you're doing. No big deal. But as far as doing concrete work, you've got to once you start, you can't stop till it's finished. That's just the nature of it. This is just some washed mason sand that we're using here. So if you got some excess sand left over, and then maybe you got to do a block wall with mortar, you could throw some cement into that and then you're ready to go. So this is an ashlar pattern. 5 different sizes of stone involved in here. And each one is a different color.
Okay, so we have the pavers here. We have the driveway all graded. Now we're gonna start laying out the pavers. It's a chateau color, 5-piece, completely random ashlar slate. It's gonna look good when it's all done.
Oh, you see Avery there? You've probably seen him on a few of the jobs. This happened to be his last job he worked on. He actually started, he was wanting to make some more money, so he ended up working for my son. And then the hours were just too long. So he ended up saying, no, this isn't going to work out, because he was commuting from Victorville to here. So he's catching traffic in the morning, because Victorville to here typically is about a 40-minute drive, 45, without traffic. But at those times of the day, because a lot of people commute, because it's a lot less money to live out in that direction, but most of the work is kind of happening in this direction. So that's why you get that commute and you get those traffic jams. You notice as they set these pavers, they're using a rubber mallet. That way they don't break any of the pavers. Also, they're working off of the top of the pavers, because the sand is already set on the money. And so you should be able to just drop them on there without really having to think about it or level or use a straight edge. Once you get that first line, you just start banging them together. If they're fitting tight together, then you're staying straight. So they're going to just bring this pattern down as close as they can get it to the sidewalk, and then everything else will be custom cuts.
Alright, so here is how far we got with laying out the pavers. Pretty much got the driveway all wrapped up. Of course, there's going to be a lot of cuts, so cuts will take even longer than laying out, to be honest. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. What do you guys think? I'm digging it. It's really nice. 5-piece ashlar stamp or slate. I'm used to the stamped concrete. Okay, check this out, guys. This is a cool little trick and tip for you if you're having struggles doing radiuses for pavers. So what we did was we staked a paver over there, kind of figured out where we want our radius, and from that point, all we're gonna do is he's gonna lock his tape measure at that stake, and then we have one guy holding the tape measure and marking everything out. And as long as he stays still, you can also do this with the string, but it's easier with the tape measure because you can see how much feet and inches you're holding it at exactly, so you can be pretty accurate. And then he's just gonna drag the tape and pencil across the pavers, getting exactly the perfect mark we need until it gets straight right about here. As you can see, we've already done this. Somewhere right around there, it gets straight. And what I want to, pretty much how I'm going to make sure that this is straight right around here, is I'm going to measure off the house and make sure that this line is about the same. Once I know it's about the same, I'm just going to mark the next spot right around here and snap a line right here. Then we're going to cut it. And that's how you get pretty much a perfect radius. Okay, so we're marking up the driveway so we can get perfect borders in. What we're using right here is using red chalk snap lines, marking 1/8 and 1/4 for our borders to get our soldier course in. What Avery did right here is he made this sweet little invention so we don't overspray on the clear marking coat, which holds our lines so when water hits these lines, they don't just disappear. So this is a beautiful, beautiful little invention right here. So that's what we're going to be doing for everything that we mark. Just using that little piece of paper we slid open to mark all of our lines.
So they've got the water attachment hooked up to the cutoff saw, which makes it a lot easier than a pump up sprayer. You've got, now it's a one-man operation. Now on that radius with that saw, it's a little more challenging for sure, because that's a 12-inch blade. Oh no, that's a 14. Yeah, that's a 14 diameter blade, so it's tough to cut a tight radius with a blade that large. Once they get the entire perimeter cut in for that soldier course that's going to go around, they'll knock out all the loose stuff, and then they'll just be able to drop that border in nice and neat. So on the border of most of this particular driveway, you won't need to lock it in by wet setting them in concrete, because they're already bound in from concrete, existing concrete on both sides. So once you get it in there nice and tight fit, it's not going to go anywhere. So there it is, a nice clean cut all the way around. Now it's just a matter of dropping in those soldier courses, and they're all the same size. I think they're like 4 by 8 inches. A mini mallet, dropping them down so they come flush to the pavers and the surrounding concrete. So when they hit these corners, they're going to do a 45-degree cut off the corner of the existing, where that pillar's sticking out. So you got to spend a little bit more time in those. So when you're coming around, if you notice this, the concrete, existing concrete near the street there is on a radius, and because these are all 4 by 8s, luckily it's not a real hard radius. That's probably like a 100-foot radius, something like that. It's pretty mild, so these are going to fit in there. But if it was something a little bit more severe, like below, like say a 15-foot, you'd have to pie shape every one of those 4x8s to fit in there nicely. Now, if you had grout in between them, if it was just your typical brick, you could make up the difference with grout. But since there isn't, and they're going to be tight fitting, then you got to make sure that the stones are touching each other. They dry set the pavers to get the right fit. Then they removed them, put them in the position. Then they dug out the sand, put some concrete in there. Now they're wet setting them. So that's what's going to hold those in there from slipping away from everything. Because if your perimeter starts sliding away, then that whole field of pavers is just going to start opening up. There's that pie shape paver right there. That's where the radius got a little tight, and they made up the difference with just one cut. Oh no, there's another cut there. Looks like every third brick they did a pie shape cut to keep those pavers tight. So it turned out real nice. It's a real improvement from what it was before, and you can see what it looked like before if you go to part 1, because this is part 4 of a 6-part series, really, because we got part 5 is going to be the sod, part 6 is the aluma wood patio cover, but this is where we're at right now. Anyway, thank you for watching, and make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification button, that way you'll get notified as soon as the next part comes up. Have a good day. Hope you liked it. Bye.